sports community has clearly been the beneficiary of many years of hard work and dedication by Mary Heinen. Mary played in the Women's City Softball League for 14 years, winning the championship 4 times. She also organized, coached, and served as convener in the Community Church Softball League for several years. Nevertheless, it is in the sport of curling where Mary truly made her greatest contribution. After joining the Peterborough Curling Club in 1959, she worked on the Centennial Committee in 1976, the Canadian Senior Championship Committee in 1988, and was chairperson for the curling in the Ontario Winter Games in 1988. Her ability to organize and run events smoothly earned her the nickname Sergeant Mary. As a certified Level 2 instructor and coach, Mary conducted numerous clinics at the Peterborough Curling Club and other area rinks. She served as a provincial course instructor teaching across Ontario. Mary coached curling at Sir Sandford Fleming College beginning in 1977 and was presented with the Honorary Knight Award in 1996 for her commitment and dedication to athletics at Fleming College. She became a certified Level 3 umpire with the Canadian Curling Association. She has also participated in provincial curling competitions, reaching the finals in tankard play, and skipped one of the teams on the winning Peterborough Curling Club tankard team in 1973. Her induction into the Peterborough District Sports Hall of Fame is a fitting testimony to her devotion to local sports. Mary Heinen-Gross, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
When was the last time you heard that?
A long time ago.
And always like to ask people's impressions of that once you just hear it back to you again, because I know it's not something that you would revisit very often, but when you hear that just read back to you, what memories pop up?
Well, some good curling times, good curling games, and the relationships you develop over the years, you know, with players, with your colleagues, and so on. Yeah.
And the thing that really sticks out to me in your brief or your bio here is Sergeant Mary, and I'm assuming that was an endearing nickname.
Well, sort of, because when I went to an event, I like things organized and so that everybody knows where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there. So I guess I maybe went a little overboard on details sometimes, but then people will come and say, well, I'm glad it was that way because I felt I knew where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there and so on. So.
And the events ran smooth that way?
Pardon?
The events ran smoothly that way?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's go to the start of it all. I know you're a lifetime Peterborough. You've lived in Peterborough your whole life.
Yes.
So when did your love of sport form?
I think we were always interested in sports, but we lived outside the city, so we weren't involved in organized play. But my brothers and I, we always played ball all summer, play catch after supper and so on and so forth. And so I guess that's where it started.
So curling came a little bit later on?
Curling came later, yes. It was softball first because we could do that. It was available to us, yeah.
When you think about them now, which one meant the most to you?
Well, I think the curling, because I had so many more opportunities and so many great things happened in curling.
Okay, let's get into those great things. Just tell me what's top of mind.
Well, I guess our 1973 win, that was a long time ago. But when I became an instructor and a coach and so on, it's really wonderful to see people acquire a skill, maybe hit a ball. A little girl hit a ball. I was coaching 6, 7, 8-year-old girls in the church league, and it was such a joy to see them progress and improve and get better.
When you are coaching, is it something where you hope that giving these kids the opportunity to learn gives them the opportunity to have the same experiences that you also had in the sport?
We always hope that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes, that they'll go on and enjoy. Yes.
So are there any examples of that as well, where little kids kept coming up, and you got to see their development and firsthand?
Well, probably the best example I can think of is John Epping. He was about 8 or 9 years old when he showed up at the curling club first, and always had the passion. Our clinics at that time at the club, we would run them for 3 nights, and we always hoped people would come for at least 2. John came for them all, of course, and that was the beginning for him.
Okay. Now you had a lot. You had a lot of impact on people's lives. Just in this booklet here, we can see it's a little bit weighted. Now, a good amount of those are letters from people endorsing your induction to the Hall of Fame. What do you think it is that you did that really made people want to, I guess, try and campaign to get you in the Hall of Fame?
I guess I don't know. These things happen. I guess I always tried to be helpful, supportive, and provide a bit of leadership if that was needed. So maybe
Okay.
that's it.
Well, maybe, yeah. We'll get into that a little bit more as we kind of dip our toes into the different pools that you were in. One of them being Fleming College, and you got the Knight Award? Yes, the Honorary Knight Award in 1996 for your commitment to athletics at Fleming College. So that was all based on your coaching in curling?
Yes, well, no, I was the recreation supervisor, so that meant I had to organize or see that things happen in many sports for the students and so on, both at just an intramural level and at the varsity level.
What impact do you think?
And I was the first one.
Oh,
The college did not have such an animal. I was the first one. I attended the college. They had a recreation leadership program. I attended the college. It was a 2-year program, and I graduated, and then they hired me. So that was good.
that's a pretty good deal.
Yes.
And I'll say thank you as well, because I enjoyed the intramural programs at Fleming College when I went there as well. But how much do you think that added to student life?
I think it adds a lot. You can only keep the nose to the grindstone so much. So outside activities, as well as enhancing their time there, they learn leadership and all sorts of things through the sport activities. So it's great.
Now, so did you do any coaching in curling at Fleming College as well?
Yes, we had a curling team, and let's see. I guess we got to a regional play once, so that was good.
All right.
Curling wasn't big in the college scene
Okay.
at that time, but yes.
Where did you find your most success coaching the game?
I guess the ball, when I was coaching novice girls, 6, 7, and 8 years old, you could just see so much improvement and so much enhancement in their skills and so on. It was a real joy.
And you, there's an article in here as well. You're from Ashburnham?
Well, I lived outside of the city
Okay.
in Douro Township.
All right. Then did you eventually move into the city?
And not until I was married.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so I always lived outside of the city.
Okay. Now, growing up or moving around Peterborough, coaching around town, are there any spots that really flash memories for you? Any ball diamonds? Anywhere that really?
Oh, the East City Bowl. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We thought we had really made it when we got to play in the bowl. So that was great. That was when Ladies Recreational Softball League started, and we were allowed into the bowl one night a week. So it was a real plus.
Under the lights?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yes. Eventually, we did get to. We would have two, 3 games.
Now, you clearly enjoyed playing the sports, and trying to draw the correlation between how much you loved playing and how much you loved coaching. Because you loved coaching, obviously, when you go and pursue different levels, like becoming a level 2 coach or just advancing that further. How much were those two intertwined for you, your love of playing sports and coaching?
I think when you play, you appreciate and understand the joy of participating. And I think you build an anticipation of enhancing that for other people.
Mm-hmm. So that's all it comes down to, is just.
I think so. You have to enjoy what you're doing, learn a little bit about it, so that you're at least one step ahead of who you're trying to teach, and take the opportunities and help people.
So would you say you got more excited to run a coaching clinic than you did to go out there and actually participate?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Yep.
And it's just that same thing? It's just the ability to be able to see somebody else grow?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And to see them attain a skill and carry on.
Over your left shoulder, we have a nice jacket. We have a picture of you curling as well there, and a trophy.
Oh, yes.
Now, just can you tell me about those items there?
The jacket, well, in the early days when I was at the curling club, or curling clubs would have their own sweaters or jackets. It would be a club thing, and everybody would have, and that was the Peterborough Curling Club sweater
Okay.
for many years. And if you went to a competition somewhere, you'd always wear the club sweater.
That's as simple as that then.
It
Okay,
was
yeah.
simple. It was simple in those days, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody has separate ones, and we don't have such a thing as a club sweater anymore. And yeah.
Okay. Do you still participate in curling? I know last year was obviously difficult, but are you an active curler?
No, I haven't
No?
been an active curler for a couple of years.
Okay. Do you still watch it on TV and enjoy the game in that way?
Yes. Oh, yes. We have some curling coming up this week, I think. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you see a lot of people carrying on with the sport? Is it something that you feel is in danger?
I don't think it's in danger. No. There's
Okay.
lots going on.
There's different parcels of the country where it's a lot more focused on curling. And
The West was always the place for curling, but there's a lot of curling in Ontario as well, and
as you
the other
see,
provinces.
yeah, as you see it change and shift, when the curling's in the Olympics or things like that, how excited do you get for the sport when you see it being played on an international level?
It's a great thing to see, isn't it? Curling took a while to get there, but it made it.
Now, you're just going back through this here a little bit, and in the Centennial Committee in 1976, after joining the Peterborough Curling Club, what did that entail in 76 in the celebration of the sport and the country?
I'm sure we had a special bonspiel or two, and they would all have a theme. I don't remember any particular events, but we would recognize it.
And the Ontario Games as well in 1988. That's a little over 30 years ago now.
Well, I'm sure I was just there organizing or whatever was needed to be
Doing
done.
sergeant things.
Yes.
Now, the people that you interacted with, one of the first things you said was the relationships you built, participating and coaching and curling and softball. What are some of the names of the people that meant the most to you?
Well, there's a colleague in Morrisburg, and we met through curling, and we're still very close friends and keep in touch. She is the main one, but there are a few others that I recall fondly and so on.
In Peterborough?
Outside of Peterborough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then in town, are there a lot of, I know you mentioned John Epping,
Yes.
but are there some other names that you would say meant a lot to maybe when you were learning the sport? Were there some people that helped you pick it up?
There was a gentleman in the men's section called Len Simons, the late Len Simons, and he decided that, well, I guess maybe others, but anyway, he was the instrumental one who made sure we got some ice, and he came and helped us, and so on and so forth. You always need a helping hand to get through these things. So I would say he was the one who was instrumental in getting a businesswomen's group started at our club. There were men's section and the ladies section. They would curling for years, but we hadn't had a businesswomen for women who worked during the day. So that was it started, and he got us going.
It's just it seems so foreign to think of it now, but that just the struggle for time and everything, I guess, with a businesswomen category.
Exactly. Yes. So anyway, every issue has its day, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, traveling around, you guys, as a team, you would have gone to, I guess, events all over Ontario. How far did curling take you?
Peterborough Business one. We had a tankard team. That's a double rink competition, and we managed to win the provincials one year in that. So that was it.
Was it in Peterborough?
No. Where did we go? Went to Kitchener, I believe.
Okay.
To finalize that event. Yeah.
So how much fun was it just heading out on the road for an event like that with your teammates?
Well, it was pretty exciting to go to that one, as I recall.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't too far away, and we were pretty excited about the whole thing, and hadn't been to anything like that before, so it was great.
Yeah, that's a different way to see the province, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've seen quite a bit of the province one way and another, traveling to these curling events. So.
There are different qualities of curling rinks, I guess you could say. The ice might be better in some locations than others. Are there some? I've been on a hockey rink before where there were curling. What are they called? Lanes? Rinks?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Where it's been a hockey rink and that on the same ice.
That's right.
Now, how different can it be in just the quality of the ice, whether it's a specialized for curling versus one that can be used for hockey at the same time?
The ice can be used, but it has to have a pebbling treatment for curling, because the rock rides on the little pebbles. You couldn't throw the curling stone very well on just plain flat ice. It wouldn't work. So the pebble. And that's another whole specialized field to learn about ice pebbling and how to do it, the size of the pebble, the shape of the pebble, or the sprinkling head that's used. A very specialized.
I've seen the videos of individuals going up and down.
That's right.
And moving, it seems like a wand up and down, and doing the pebbling technique.
That's it.
Now, how compare some places, the top level versus the worst level that you would have seen in terms of ice quality? How big was that gap when you were playing?
Used to be a fair gap. I don't think it's that much of a gap anymore, because any place that's going to have curling, they're going to have a competent ice technician to do it.
Yeah.
And it's nice when they're referred to as ice technicians rather than the ice man.
How much of it did you get to share with your family? Just the people around you with the sport?
My family didn't curl, My husband's both curled, so that was good. We were able to do mixed events and so on.
That must have been a nice way to make friends again.
It is. It is. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very social sport, curling. You have the clubhouse afterwards, and it's synonymous with beer, I guess you could say.
You might.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah. Now, why do you think curling is so popular for people?
Well, it's a fairly easy sport to get into, and it doesn't require a lot of equipment or a lot of expensive equipment. You can spend a fair bit on it, but you don't have to. Just keep warm and go.
Now, people could watch it and think that it doesn't require a lot of skill, but having tried it, it's
That's different.
very difficult, right?
Have you tried?
I've tried it just twice in my life. I've tried it, and it's quite difficult. The weighting on the stone, everything, it's hard.
Exactly.
Now,
yes.
how much time does it actually take to specialize in the sport and to actually get to a point where you feel, well, for you personally, how long did it take for you to feel like you were a confident curler?
Probably a season or two. I thought
Okay.
I was pretty good by then.
Looking back now,
I know that I
yeah,
wasn't.
okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes, the longer you go on, you think, oh, I didn't know that before. Yeah.
Now, how much so I think, again, this is a sport where you can play it for a longer amount of time. It's not like football where once you're 27 or 28, maybe you're on the end of your career, right?
Yes.
So curling you can play for essentially your whole life. What about it changes as you do grow older?
You may not sweep as hard. You may not be able to throw it as hard. But then again, you find out that you don't need to throw it that hard. So it's just an easy sport to do.
Yeah.
It really is.
Do you think that when were you at your best?
I don't know because I learned so much more as I went
Yeah.
along, and so it's sort of hard to say.
That makes that sport great, I guess.
Yeah,
You're always learning, always developing.
you're always learning and always developing. Yes, and it's a sport that you can enhance with a bit of knowledge and so on.
What's the most important knowledge that you can get curling? What information meant the most?
I think probably understanding the feel of the weight. After all, the weight is pretty important, whether it gets to the right spot at the right time. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to go back through here. And when you did actually win the Peterborough Curling Club Tankard in 1973, so can you tell me a little bit about that team? Just that must have been a highlight for you.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, and for the people who were part of that team. Four of us played together all of the time, and then the other four we sort of hooked up to be a team. We hadn't played a lot, the eight of us together. Actually, that may well have been the only year we did all play it together, but we met with a bit of success very quickly.
Can you mix and match teams easily in curling, or does chemistry have to be a big part of it?
I think chemistry is a big part of it, yes. You have to sort of be happy with that person and overlook the bad shots and so on. We just have to do that, yeah.
Is there any part of it that becomes instinctual when playing with the same people over time, becomes instinct when you're talking to the same people and they just know that they have to do this at this specific time?
You know, when you're the skip of the team, you know, the other players get to know almost what you're thinking And you don't have to go into an elaborate explanation of it. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're just communicating with little head nods and.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's something that I ask everybody when we do these interviews on Sports Legends. It's what would you like your sports legacy in Peterborough to be? And then I'm going to ask you afterwards another question that ties into that. But what would you like your sports legacy to be in Peterborough?
I hope that my efforts have been helpful to people and that they would be encouraging to people to participate in curling or the softball or whatever.
And is that what you believe your sports legacy is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because I think along the way I was encouraging to people, helping them be a little better than they might be.
Mm-hmm. And how much of that was the sergeant? Were there two different characters?
Oh dear, the poor sergeant. I think you have to be a little bit of a dictator to provide leadership sometimes. Just a little bit. So.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, you need to be able to take charge and lead the way. You're right. Carry the flag and keep. Were you like that? So I know about that while organizing, but while playing as well, was it the same thing? Did you flip the switch when you got onto the rink?
Possibly. You do change a little bit, yeah.
Did you ever bother your teammates, you think?
Hope not.
No. How about your opponents?
Maybe a little.
Maybe. Okay.
I think I like most of them too.
Good.
Most of them you knew them very well, and
That's curling, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, Mary, thank you so much for coming in today and talking to me about your time spent playing softball and curling in Peterborough. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.